Hey everybody, and welcome back to another deep dive. Today we are diving deep into the world of Kathy Griffin.
Oh, yeah.
Her career, the ups, the downs, the whole thing.
It's quite the story.
It is. And to make this deep dive happen, we're going all the way to an interview that she did with the Daily Beast for their podcast, The Last Laugh.
That's a great interview.
And oh boy, Kathy does not hold back, so let's get right to it.
Absolutely. Let's dive in.
And of course, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below.
Yeah, we love hearing from you guys.
Absolutely.
What I find really fascinating about this interview is that it kind of shows us Kathy right at this crossroads in her career. On the one hand, she's totally killing it, selling out huge venues like Carnegie Hall.
Carnegie Hall.
With her new tour, it's called My Life on the PTSD-List.
Wow.
But then at the same time, she still feels like she's locked out of Hollywood.
Oh, yeah.
It's just such an interesting mix of triumph and frustration.
It's definitely a comeback with an edge. Right. I mean, My Life on the PTSD List, that title alone.
I know, right?
She's not shying away from what she's been through since that whole photo incident back in 2017.
Oh, absolutely not.
And for anyone who needs a refresher, that's when she posed with a mask that looked like the severed head of then-President Trump.
Right.
And let's just say it caused quite the uproar, death threats, an investigation by the Secret Service, the whole 9 yards.
It definitely sent her career, into a tailspin.
For sure.
But what's amazing is that she's taking all of that, the trauma, the controversy, the career fallout, and she's channeling it into her comedy.
Uh-huh.
And it's clearly resonating with people because this is actually her biggest tour since that whole photo incident happened.
That's huge.
It is.
She even said that she would work for free just to get a comedy special made.
I remember that.
But she says the networks are too, quote, squeamish to work with her.
Interesting.
It really makes you think, would things be different if it had been a male comedian who had done something similar?
That's a really good question. She actually brings up Dave Chappelle and Ricky Gervais in the interview.
Right.
Both of them have definitely sparked their fair share of controversy, but they still have these huge platforms.
Yeah, and I mean, Kathy actually holds the Guinness World Record for the most stand-up specials by a comedian, male or female.
Exactly.
So to see her basically shut out of television and streaming, it's pretty wild.
It is. It's this crazy double standard where some types of controversial humor are okay for some people, but not for others.
Totally.
And she brings up how ageism might be playing a role, too.
Uh-huh.
She's 63, still rocking it on stage, but she's noticed that male comedians often have these much longer careers.
Oh, for sure.
And more leeway as they get older.
Definitely, yeah.
It's like they get grandfathered into being able to say whatever they want.
Mm-hmm.
And then she even goes so far as to call out the CEO of Warner Bros. Discovery, David Zaslav, for his open support of Trump, and she kind of suggests that his political leanings might be affecting her opportunities.
That's bold.
It is bold.
But it also shows you how intertwined the entertainment industry can be with politics.
Oh, yeah.
And how personal beliefs can sometimes really clash with, professional opportunities.
It's true. I think that tension is a big part of what makes her story so fascinating.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got a comedian who's clearly super talented.
Oh, yeah.
Fiercely outspoken, still dealing with the fallout from those past controversies. But what's interesting is how she's weaving all of that into her new material.
It's true. She's talking about some things that most people wouldn't even touch.
Right.
Like addiction, a suicide attempt, even being put on a 5150 psych hold.
Wow.
And just to clarify for anyone who might not know, that's a legal term in California for an involuntary psychiatric hold. It's usually initiated when someone is considered a danger to themselves or to others because of a mental health crisis.
Right, so she's bringing some really heavy personal stuff to the stage.
She is.
And she's somehow making it funny.
She is. It's actually pretty amazing. She's brutally honest, but also surprisingly funny. Yeah.
There's this one story she tells about an audience member who yelled out during one of her shows, "Suicide isn't funny?"
Oh my God, that's intense.
Talk about a tense moment.
Wow, that must have been so awkward.
It was. But the way she handled it was actually really interesting.
What did she do?
She didn't shut down or get defensive.
Okay.
She actually acknowledged the guy's pain and explained that she was only making fun of her own experience.
Wow.
And get this, the guy actually calmed down and stayed for the rest of the show.
Oh, wow.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that really speaks to her skill as a comedian.
Definitely.
It's like she can address these super sensitive topics with vulnerability and humor.
Yeah.
Which is really hard to do.
Yeah.
She makes it relatable without making light of the issue itself.
Right. It's like she's walking this tightrope between honesty and humor, darkness and light.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes her so interesting. She's not afraid to be vulnerable. She's not afraid to show her flaws. She's not afraid to make people uncomfortable.
Right. And by doing that, she actually opens up the space for important conversations.
Yeah.
About mental health, about trauma, about the power of finding humor even in the darkest of places.
For sure. She even jokes about her suicide attempt being, quote, D-list because of how she went about it, which is it's classic Kathy.
Oh, yeah.
It's that self-deprecating humor.
Totally.
That she's always been known for.
Exactly. And it's not about making light of suicide at all.
Right.
It's about finding the humor in her own specific experience, which, it was kind of absurd.
It was, yeah.
But it's a way of reclaiming control over this really difficult situation and being able to laugh about it. And then get this, she even compares herself to Britney Spears and Kanye West.
No way! They've both been on 5,150 holds.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She says, quote, "I now have the street cred to joke about a 5150 cycle, and I was upset they didn't give me the Beyoncé birthing suite."
Classic Kathy. Classic Kathy. It's just that ability to find humor in the unexpected, to take something potentially traumatic and make it relatable, make it funny.
Totally. It's part of what makes her so unique.
Absolutely. All right, deep divers, we're going to take a quick pause here. When we come back, we'll dig even deeper into Kathy's thoughts on the upcoming election, her feelings about Hollywood, and how she's incorporating her experience with lung cancer into her act. Stay with us.
And we are back for more Kathy Griffin.
Back at it.
It's interesting how she connects her career prospects to the upcoming election.
Oh, yeah, totally. It's like she's kind of waiting with bated breath, just like the rest of us, to see what's going to happen.
Totally. And she even says that, a few years ago, she would have thought the idea of a Harris presidency, impacting her career, was crazy.
Right.
But now, who knows?
I mean, things have changed a lot.
Yeah. It really shows you how much the political landscape has shifted and how people feel it personally.
Yeah, especially someone like Kathy, who's been so outspoken.
Exactly. She's right there in the thick of it.
It's like her whole career has become this, barometer for what you can and can't say in comedy.
Especially when it comes to, criticizing powerful people.
Right, and the outcome of this election could really determine, her future.
It's true. It could change everything for her.
It's like she's walking this tightrope between her beliefs and, the possible fallout from actually saying them out loud.
It's a tough spot to be in.
It is. And on top of all that, she's now incorporating her experience with lung cancer into her act.
Wow.
Which is a whole other layer of vulnerability that she's bringing to the stage.
I mean, it's understandable if she didn't want to talk about something so serious.
Right.
But she's facing it head on.
With humor.
Of course, with humor.
She even calls herself the face of the 1.5 lunged community of comedians.
She's unbelievable.
I love it. It's amazing, right? You can't help but admire her resilience.
Yeah, totally.
Her ability to find the funny even when dealing with cancer.
It's inspiring. And it's also a good reminder that laughter can be so powerful.
Yeah.
It doesn't make the situation less serious,
Mm-hmm.
but it can help us deal with tough emotions.
For sure.
And find joy even when things are hard.
It's true. And let's not forget, she's doing all of this after having part of her lung removed.
Right.
And dealing with the aftermath of a botched vocal cord surgery.
I mean, talk about a comeback.
That's incredible. It's a testament to her determination, her passion.
For sure.
She's not letting anything stop her.
Absolutely not. It's amazing. So we've got this comedian who's been basically blacklisted, battling some serious health issues and tackling these super sensitive topics. It's heavy stuff, but she's making it funny. How does she do it?
Well, I mean, she's always been known for that self-deprecating humor.
Right.
She's never been afraid to poke fun at herself. And she uses that to connect with the audience.
Yeah.
It's like she's saying, hey, I'm just like you.
Yeah.
I've got flaws, I make mistakes, and sometimes life throws me curveballs.
Totally.
But instead of feeling sorry for herself, she finds a way to laugh about it.
And she's not afraid to push boundaries.
No, she's not.
She's always been willing to tackle those taboo subjects. And that's part of what makes her comedy so interesting.
It's true. She's not afraid to make people a little uncomfortable.
Right.
But she does it in a way that makes you think.
And laugh.
Yeah.
It's a tough balance to strike.
It is.
But she's really good at it.
She makes people laugh while also challenging their assumptions
Mm-hmm.
and making them see things in a new way.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And I think it's interesting how she talks about the difference between Making fun of a topic versus making fun of her own experience with that topic.
Totally, like with the suicide attempt.
Yeah.
She's not making light of suicide as a concept.
Right.
But she's finding the humor in her own specific attempt.
Like the way she went about it.
Yeah, the quote D-list way.
Exactly.
It's a way of taking control of a really difficult experience.
And owning it.
Yeah, and turning it into something she can laugh about.
It's like she's saying, if I can laugh at this, it doesn't have power over me.
Yeah.
And that's a really powerful message.
It is.
Especially for people who have been through something similar.
Absolutely. And she talks about finding humor in being on a 5150 hole.
Right.
Alongside celebrities like Britney Spears and Kanye West.
She's in good company.
Yeah. It's her way of normalizing mental health struggle.
Totally.
She's not afraid to admit that she's been there.
And she's using her platform to break down the stigma.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
And she even jokes about wanting the Beyonce birthing suite during her 5150 stay. Like, leave it to Kathy to find the funny even in that situation.
I know, right? She's the best.
It's classic Kathy.
It is.
Finding humor in the unexpected.
Totally.
Taking something that could be seen as a weakness and turning it into a strength.
I think that's why people respond to her.
Yeah.
They see her vulnerability and honesty.
And she's getting standing ovations every night.
It's amazing.
It really is. It's a testament to the power of authenticity.
People are drawn to that.
Yeah, they want to see someone who's real, who's not afraid to be themselves, flaws and all. And she's using her comedy to explore the whole human experience.
The good, the bad, and the ugly.
Exactly. And she's doing it all on her own terms.
That's right.
She's not waiting for Hollywood to give her permission to be funny.
She's out there doing her thing.
She's proving she still has it.
Absolutely.
And she's not afraid to speak her mind, even if it ruffles some feathers along the way.
She's a trailblazer.
She is forging her own path.
And inspiring others to do the same.
It's pretty cool. So we've got Kathy Griffin back.
Back and better than ever.
Bolder and more unapologetic than ever.
That's right.
She's taking on Trump Hollywood and even her own demons.
And she's doing it with humor and honesty.
Yeah. What do you think? Is she paving the way for a new era of comedy?
That's a good question. One that's more inclusive.
Yeah.
More personal. And maybe even a little bit more daring.
It'll be interesting to see what happens next.
It's exciting. She's definitely pushing boundaries.
She is.
And challenging conventions.
For sure.
And it'll be fascinating to see how that resonates with audiences.
And how it influences the comedy landscape moving forward.
Definitely.
Well, deep divers, we've covered a lot of ground, but there's still more to this deep dive.
We're not done yet.
Stay tuned for part 3, where we'll explore how Kathy is taking control of her narrative and creating her own opportunities.
Can't wait.
We'll be right back. All right, we're back and ready to wrap up our Kathy Griffin deep dive.
Let's do it.
It seems like Kathy's just kind of accepted the fact that Hollywood might not be, welcoming her back with open arms anytime soon.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like she's holding her breath.
And she's not sitting around waiting for the phone to ring.
Nope. She is out there making things happen.
Instead, she's focusing on what she can control.
Her stand-up, her connection with her fans.
Exactly. And judging by those sold-out shows, it's working.
It is.
I mean, she even went so far as to make her own movie.
Real?
About the whole Trump photo controversy.
Wow.
It's called Kathy Griffin. A hell of a story.
I've heard of that.
And she did it because no one else would touch it.
Makes sense.
Talk about taking control of your narrative.
That's amazing. Really taking the reins.
It is a bold move.
It is.
But it also shows you her entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah.
And how she understands the entertainment industry is changing.
Right. It's not just about Hollywood anymore.
No, not at all. And the film actually got really good reviews.
That's awesome.
So she's proving that there are other ways to find success outside of that traditional system.
You don't have to play by their rules.
Exactly. And it highlights how things are changing.
Power dynamics are shifting.
For sure, with streaming services and independent platforms.
Creators have so many more options now.
Yeah, they can connect directly with their audience.
It's really empowering.
It is so. Even though she might be quote-unquote blacklisted from network television, it's not stopping her.
She's finding new ways to reach people.
And tell her story.
And that might be even more powerful.
It might be.
She's not beholden to anyone.
Nope.
She can express herself freely.
Without censorship or compromise.
She's a trailblazer.
She's forging her own path.
And inspiring others to do the same.
Kathy Griffin is back, everyone.
Back and bolder than ever.
Bolder and more unapologetic than ever.
She's not holding back.
She's not. She's taking on Trump, Hollywood.
Her own personal struggles.
All with her signature humor and honesty.
Yeah. It's an incredible story.
What a story.
Really makes you think.
It does, about resilience, about creativity, about the power of humor.
To help us overcome challenges.
Exactly. Kathy's journey really raises a lot of interesting questions
It does.
about freedom of speech, cancel culture, who gets to decide what's funny.
Big questions.
They are. And it'll be fascinating to see where her path leads next.
I can't wait to see what she does next.
Me too.
Yeah.
Well, deep divers, we've reached the end of this deep dive.
We've made it to the bottom.
We've explored Kathy Griffin's career comeback, her battles with Hollywood, her incredibly personal comedy.
Determination.
To control her own story.
She's such a fascinating person.
She's complex, and her story is a reminder that even when life throws you curveballs, you can always find a way to laugh. To keep moving forward.
To find your own path.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on Kathy Griffin's journey? Let us know in the comments below.
Yeah, we want to hear from you.
And don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the topics that matter.
We'll see you next time.
Until next time.